So it looks like Mr. Salting was president of a technical society, and he was a guest lecturer and at the end, the closing remarks of his lecture, he said he made some comments that were not very, so not correct. This is not accurate. Not accurate, you see, and they did not sit well with some of the members in the audience. And well, because of that, he did acknowledge that he made those comments, and with that he made the comments. But then there was a member in the audience that actually, he's the second one here, Cuman. He was the one that kind of like made a few remarks to lighten the air a bit. But it was the same person that afterwards, when everyone has gone home already, he sent an email over to Salting to ask him to apologize for the comments that he made. But in addition to sending just this email to Salting, he actually sent a copy out to all the high-level people in this community. Right? Yeah. Right. And so the questions we have to ask about this was it right for Salting to actually make those comments in the first place? And after that, was it ethical for Cuman actually send copies of that email to him? That's what we would like to answer.
Right. So once again, this is basically stated about the question, and we thought that basically Salting basically violated the IEEE code of ethics to number 2, 3, and 5, and 9, and so number 2, basically to avoid or real or perceived conflicts of interest whenever possible, and to disclose them to the parties if they exist. The reason why we thought this was the case was because so basically he made his own comments, and the audience didn't really agree with them. It was basically, so he made derogatory comments, and the audience didn't really agree with them, but that was, he didn't disclose his own biases. So he was president of the National Technical Society, and he is supposed to represent a bunch of different people from a certain group of engineers. And he made these derogatory comments regarding the newer field, and may or may not have had experience in that field. So he had some biases involved, but he didn't disclose those biases, and that was definitely a problem, a conflict of interest. It also made his group much better looking than the group that he was making comments about. Okay, so number 3 and 5, to be honest, realistic, and stating claims or estimates based on available data, and number 5, to improve the understanding of technology's appropriate applications and potential consequences. So once again, he says derogatory comment. This was sort of his opinion. It wasn't something based on fact necessarily. At least from what we can discern, it wasn't based on fact. It was his own opinion, and it wasn't necessarily accurate because not everyone agreed. There's lots of people in the audience, or specifically Cuman, but there were signs that other people in the audience didn't agree as well. He also some of us could see the future that the application of the field could have, basically. Okay. That's not right. This is just, that's all slide. It's supposed to be up there. My bad. That one. Too far. Go back. That's too far. That's much further.
Okay. Let's go back. There.
The next one, that's not supposed to be there.
Okay.
So, number 9, basically, too. We also thought he violated number 9, which is to avoid injuring others, their property, their reputation, or employment by false or malicious action. And, by making these comments, he damages the reputation of the newer engineering field, and he, well, I mean, it's potentially self-serving because he is the president of the National Technical Society, and this makes his, this makes his group look a lot better than the others. So our conclusion is basically that he shouldn't have made those comments to begin with, but there can't be, the statement can't be retracted, so he should just apologize, and that would help undo, hopefully, most of the damage that would be done by his comments and restore some reputation of both him and the newer field.
Alright, now we'll discuss Cumin. Was it ethical for him to copy the letter? We feel that this violated IEEE Code of Ethics number 2, 9, and 10. Number 2 being to avoid real or perceived conflicts of interest whenever possible, and to disclose to them affected parties when they do exist. Number 2, he said he felt it made a conflict of interest between Saltine and the audience with the public letter. He should have, that he could have kept the letter private. The comments may or may not have affected everyone else, but Cumin sent them to copy it well, so the people, the people who weren't at the conference didn't know of Saltine's comments, but now he's made the public at large aware of these comments. So, and then we have number 9 here. Kind of goes by what I was just saying about number 2 there. Was it ethical for him? Was that to avoid injuring others, their property, reputation, or employment by false or malicious action? Like I said, because when he was there at the conference, he tried to lighten the situation, make Saltine's comments less, take off, lighten the load there. But then right directly afterwards, he sends an email or a letter to Saltine and everyone else, leaders, demanding that he makes the apology. So this is more like a public communication. He hurts the reputation of Saltine and makes up something that could have been a private matter public. He could have sent this letter to him directly instead of sending it out to the public at large. And also, we feel that it violated the Code of Ethics number 10. Because his colleagues and co-workers in the professional development and to support them in following the Code of Ethics. Kind of runs in with the other two. Because he could have left this matter private. He could have sent the letter directly to Saltine, telling him that maybe those comments weren't appropriate. That maybe he should give and the conclusion for Cumin, he shouldn't have never made the situation public. He could have kept it for the people who were at the conference, and he could have sent the letter directly to Saltine, asking for an apology. However, he's already done this, So Human should apologize directly to Saltine and to send out a letter to everyone else who he sent a letter to begin with, demanding Saltine's apology. I believe that is it. Any questions?